I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts, and crafts, and jewelry. This the Guardians of the Geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
Woohoo! Guardians of the Geekery, special Geekery Market edition. Oh my gosh, Geekery Market, bigger, better all the time. Coming at you November 9th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., 30,000 square feet of geeky goodness. And I think, oh my gosh, Get Some Game is here. We're just absolutely thrilled. Miss Mary and Chloe, thank you for joining us. And you definitely, your space is just, it just seems like it never ends. You've got two stories and you've got a building in the back, and it just kind of keeps going. It's just everywhere you go. It's games, it's e-games, it's all this stuff. It's just amazing. So I'm very, very excited to have you on the podcast. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having us, Matt.
Yeah, thanks.
And one of the things we love about Get Some Games is we've been partnering with them for years, and they've always been a great sponsor for any of the events that we've had. We've held some geeky singles nights over there, different tournaments, Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. And then you've also been part of when we were doing our scavenger hunts and different things like that. We could always count on Get Some Game to be part of it or to donate to the charity raffles and different things like that. So we really appreciate your partnership over the years. And even though they don't make all their games, they are a Geekery Market sponsor. So they will not be in the arts and crafting aisles. They'll be in the cool things to check out side towards the back of the store. So you can go and check out their games and talk to them about some amazing stuff that's there. So we are so happy to have you guys and just
thank you.
Have you be part of our event. So for people who aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about where Get Some Game is in Charlotte and some of the different events that you hold throughout the week that they could come and be part of.
Sure. So, and thanks for having us. We do appreciate it. And we do have a plethora of different types of games that are, whether you want to do board games or card games or model kits. We have a bunch of all different types of things. But we're located on Commercial Avenue, which is in the triangle of Eastway, Sugar Creek, and the Plaza, kind of near NODA, North Davidson, NODA area, and by Garinger High School. So that'll give people an idea of kind of that vicinity that we're located in. And we just celebrated 14 years of being in business, and we're real excited about passing all those different milestones. You got your 5-year, your 10-year, your COVID years, and we made it through all of that. So we really are thankful to all of our gamers and people that have come and supported us, like the Charlotte Geeks and your teams here. And we have, because we've been in business for 14 years, we've had gamers that have come as middle schoolers and are now bringing their children. I mean, because they just want to keep that alive, that gaming family feeling alive. And we've always tried to do a family-friendly environment. And so I love it when people bring their sisters in, guys that have been coming in for years and playing, and all of a sudden they feel comfortable to bring, a close family member into the store and to come and play. And I just feel like that's really a positive thing for our business, because it shows that they feel confident enough that nothing. If you think of a game store, sometimes it's very male. Well, and ours is very male dominated too. But we do have women in there. We do have a lot of diversity, and we do allow families to come in and just play games, because children need to know how to be little geeks.
if we don't train them, how will they come?
That's
We got to start somewhere. So
right.
definitely. And Chloe,
Do
how
you,
long have you been with Get Some Game?
Oh gosh, since I was, let's see, I'm 32 now. I've been a patron since 18.
Wow.
Since the humble beginnings, before Commercial Avenue. And then fast forward to now, I've been working there for I think around 2 years, right, Mary?
yeah, about
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
about 2 years, and it's during my time there, like I've never felt like a part of a community like I have there, and it's been
Hmm.
really nice.
So what are some of
Yeah.
the tournaments you host at Get Some Games? What type of tournaments do you host, or do you have like regularly scheduled gaming nights?
Yeah, so we are basically like every day that we're open, except for Thursday, we're hosting a tournament or like some kind of game, whether that be like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, board games, Dungeons and Dragons, or like we even have like people who have created their own games come in and demo their stuff, and yeah, just you name it.
And Lorcana, the new
Morcana
Disney
too,
card
yes,
game.
that's a big
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Card Fight Vanguard, we have a lot of the Bushy Road games too, that the Weiss Schwartz. So some of these niche games that are out there also, we support that because if somebody's interested in it, we want to be able to build a community, and that's been going forward for a while. But we do have a calendar of events up on our website, and we do Pokemon, as Chloe mentioned, we do Pokemon on Sundays, for example. And so we have Pokemon tournaments for adults, and then we have ones for children 16 and younger. And we get about a dozen children to come in. The parents come in and they bring, or one parent will bring in several children. And it's just really fun to see them and all their energy and their curiosity. So that's really the fun part of it too. But that's just an example. So Sundays is our Pokemon in the early afternoons, and then we do Yu-Gi-Oh in the later evenings. And we just have a whole, if some like, and then also, Chloe, you didn't mention your Go tournaments.
Oh yeah. So I have recently restarted the Charlotte Go Club, and Go is like one of the oldest board games in existence. I think dating back around over 2,000 years ago, and we host a local club where people can, of all experience levels and just cultural backgrounds, can just come and play like the game of Go, and so we have like that aspect too, where you get your more modern like trading card games and stuff, but we also have like the more I don't know how to describe it, like just the ancient board games, as Mary likes to put it. But
I used to be obsessed with Mancala, the little
Well,
rock
yeah.
game. That was like my game that I always wanted to play because I stunk at Othello. So don't get me started on Othello, but I can play
that on
Mancala
Lisa.
all day
Yeah.
long. So
the
one of the
classic.
things that was always fun for me when I would come to Get Some Games is the fact that you actually do have, playable games there. So people can come and play the game, and then if they like it, they can go ahead and buy it. And some stores, they don't want to have you necessarily demo some of those games because that's $50 or $60 or whatever. But the fact that you can go in and try different games and really learn into it. When I first started going to gaming conventions, that was the thing that I loved, was I'd try to play as many of the games as I could and then be able to bring them back to my family. So I love that about you, that you can come in and you can play these different games. And if you don't know how to play it, there's usually somebody on the staff that will sit down and teach you. So
It won't be me. I'm the I'm the non-gamer of the crew, but yeah, there's lots of folks that behind the counter that would be happy to show folks how to use different games and play.
Mary, we always
Absolutely.
have to have a cat herder. They can't,
Yes.
if they were into all the games, there would be chaos. So having the cat herder is always a good thing.
Well, I was going to ask what some of your favorite games were, but I guess I'll ask Chloe. What are some of your favorite games?
Oh gosh. It's really hard to pick just one. To be honest, I've been getting into a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh lately for its complexity, and its nuance. And of course, Go. I think, it's very simple, but also very complex as well. I think if anything offers me like that level of thought and complexity, I'll probably play it. And really, like that's about any game these days, if I'm being honest.
How about you guys? Do you play card games or board games or?
So I used to be huge into Munchkin and Flux. My sister-in-law hates Flux because she doesn't like the fact that the rules continually change. And if the rules change, then she, if she was about to win and you put that new card down, she would get very upset with you. So there's certain games we learned that we can't bring around the family, but also I would bring them, what's the Ticket to Ride? They loved. I got them hooked onto Ticket to Ride, and then all of a sudden they were buying expansions I didn't have. And then I just played Poetry for, what is it called? Poetry for Neanderthals. That was one of the new games that I learned how to play, where you're having to describe complex concepts using single syllable words. And if you say more than one syllable, there's a cloth bat that they can hit you on the head with. So it's kind of like Outburst, where you're trying to guess as many cards as you can, but you're confined by how many syllables it is. So instead of having a group of words you can't say, it's how many syllables you can say. So so that was really interesting. But and of course we have Ferret Flush, who's a local game creator, and he's actually at the Geekery market. He and his wife, who was a former Olympian, right, just in time for the Paris Olympics, they created a game. It's kind of a concept on the similar concept as like Apples to Apples, but either Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanities, but it's more family friendly version, where you kind of say, well, this is what you did and this is how it made you feel and stuff like that. So the cards actually are four-sided, so you have to turn them around depending on which part of the turn you're playing. So it was kind of interesting. So we're excited to have them there. And then, of course, the Miskatonic School for Girls, where you're trying not to go insane. I always it goes with my lifestyle. So.
I think the last board game I was really interested in was Red Dragon Inn.
Yes.
I don't do a lot of board games because I'm a massive introvert and I don't go out a whole lot. And you kind of need other people to play board games. But I do play a lot of Xbox console games. So I'm heavily into Sea of Thieves.
Oh, I love Sea of Thieves. I play it almost religiously. That was like my pandemic go-to was.
Yeah, I love being a pirate, and then I've gotten into Pow World too, which is kind of which in the beta stage, but it's kind of like a Pokemon type game where you're capturing critters. So yeah, I love those two games, and then I play Fortnite because for some reason I can't get Fortnite out of my system. I should, but being a female gamer, I generally leave my audio off. There's only so many times you can be cursed out.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. So, but I have a couple people that I play Sea of Thieves with. We've made a good pirate band and
nice crew.
Yeah, a nice brig crew going. So
my first online game was The Sims Online. So it was a big glorified chat room while you sat your character down playing piano or skilling up on something, right? But then I went over to World of Warcraft, and I was there like right after the beta. So kind of from the beginning, but my friends had been playing since beta and they needed a healer. So they talked me into becoming a healer, which if you're a healer in World of Warcraft and you're a raider, all you have are these UI screens all over trying to watch everybody's health bar. So when I went back to World of Warcraft during the pandemic, I left when they brought out Pandaria because it was all supposed to be farming, and I had done farming on my phone, and I was like, no, we're not doing this because it never stops. And I left, but then during COVID, I came back. I tried to bring Matt into World of Warcraft. However, I had once told him that he could get some XP at the early level by killing ferocious moss, which were NPCs that were yellow, so they won't attack you unless you attack them. And then we'd be trying to run across the field to do the next quest. And the group of us would turn around and we'd be like, "Where's Matt?" And he was off killing moss because we told him he could. And so it's like, no, you're past that. You're not even actually earning any XP at this point. Just come on over. But now I'm really into Warcraft Rumble, which is the app version of the little, it's like a Warhammer 5, where you do like a little 5 PvP group that you build and you can do little adventures. That's during the day when people at work are making me upset. Sometimes I just have to log onto my phone and kill something in a little 3 to 5 minute fighting episode. So it really
A little therapy. Yeah, a little
keeps
therapy
me out of
there.
jail. Yeah. So, but Matt, tell them your online gaming story.
Oh yeah, so I still remember it was a Thursday night, and I was excited. I got off work. I'm like, this is the first Xbox. I'm gonna buy the Xbox. I love Star Wars. You can probably tell. And I was like, Knights of the Old Republic. Here we go. This is gonna be incredible. And I'm gonna get a lightsaber. I'm gonna start, learn the Force. Here I go. This is gonna be fantastic. And the first little room I come to, I walk in and they're playing, I think Sabak, the version of blackjack, basically. And all of a sudden, I just kept playing it and kept playing. I was so immersed, and all of a sudden, I see there's some light hitting me in the face, and it's the sun coming up the next morning, and I've got to go to work. I had played right after work when I got it until that morning. I had to go to work. I had not slept at all. I barely had time for a shower, and the next night it was the same type of thing. Then it went to the weekend. I played the whole weekend, and I was like, I'm addicted to video games. I've got to be careful. So I wouldn't return them. And afterwards, I got into the Wii and some other stuff. But I still have not really got back. I won't buy a PlayStation or any of these things. But I'll play at friends' houses sometimes, and I get my fix there, which is really fun. But I grew up on the original D&D back in the day in 5th grade, and I played in a basement with my friends in Ohio. So it really had that stinky kind of quality, like you were in a cave, mildew and that type of thing. And I don't think we knew what we were doing, but it was fun to kind of learn the game as we went along. And then TSR launched a Marvel Superheroes game that a lot of the same type of play features, which was really cool. And then eventually got into Hero Clicks, which was an addiction for a while. And that one too, I had to be like, I don't have room for all the hero clicks. I've got to take a step back and pause here. But just that kind of passion.
Sorry, that was me with Skyrim. When I got Skyrim, I lost entire nights. And worse, you'd find books in Skyrim, and I'd have to stop and read the book.
Oh,
and it's like, oh well, I got volume 5 of the story. I need to go find volume 1 through 4 before I read this. So I got like totally bogged down in side quests, just looking for books.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do we lose Mary? Is she
Mary? Okay, she messaged me. She got disconnected. She's getting back on.
Okay, no worries.
So she'll be back soon. All right, now that she's gone, tell us all the dirt, Chloe.
All the dirt. Well, I'll catch Mary on playing Pokemon Go at work sometimes because the store is actually a Pokestop, but it's also a gym.
I was going to say, are you guys a gym?
Whoa.
Yeah, we're both. And that's
amazing.
It's really funny how like we know when to do our work, but we also know when to have fun too, because that's like part of the job. There's the business side, and then there's like the gaming and social aspect, which is very important to us. And I find it very wholesome to find Mary on Pokemon Go.
You learned all your family secrets while you were gone. Now, Carol, you have to confess, what did you used to do at lunch at your old work?
Oh, we would go. Yeah, there was several Pokestops, and 3 of them were in a cemetery at a church nearby. So I would go park at the church and walk the cemetery and get the 3 Pokestops until the church actually closed those down, asked them to remove them because there was too many people parking in their parking lots.
Wow.
The weekend.
And one of the Pokestops was at the church at the end of our neighborhood, and they put up a fence because people would drive into the gravel. I would, and get my balls refilled. You know how the language is, but I'd get my Pokestop and I'd get that, and then it wasn't a gym though; it was just a Pokestop. But I'd go there to refill, and then I would get out, and so they noticed people were doing that, and they put up a fence so people couldn't come in.
Wow.
Yeah, the one church got them removed, but there was another church that had 2, and I would go park in their back parking, but they didn't care.
You would think they would use it as an opportunity to get people to come into the church, right? So
yeah, the one that kept it had this was a Vietnamese Christian church, and they had these huge statues in the parking lot of the 12 Stations of the Cross, and I guess they just figured, well, if you're sitting there getting your pokies, you're looking at the 12 Stations of the Cross, so we're doing our job.
Right. Have y'all ever found any on private property, like residential, or because I've heard stories of that?
I have not.
You haven't?
I haven't pokeyed in quite a while. I have a good friend that her and her daughter will go on excursions finding gyms and stuff. And there's actually a gym at our local movie theater. So she's like, okay, we're going to go see a movie, but I got to get there early so I can go to the gym. And she's not talking about lifting weights. She's talking about catching Pokemon. So.
Yes. And one of our other friends, his daughter and her kids were really into Pokemon Go. And so he started playing as a way to hang out with them. And then they all kind of rolled out of it for a while. And he's so mad at them. He's like, every time you get me addicted to a game, then you guys move on to the next one. So
we have a mutual friend, Matricula, who is a musical clown. Her husband is avid Pokey, and she was complaining because one Saturday he was off searching Pokemons, and this van pulled up with a bunch of guys in it, and they're like, "Are you doing Pokemon Go?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Come on, we're getting a bunch of Pokestops," and he just randomly climbed into the stranger's van.
Oh my gosh!
And now they're a team that goes out. He just climbed into a stranger's van. I could have lost
was
it.
it white? Did they offer candy?
She scrolled Pokestops on the side.
So if you are into Pokemon Go and you want to go to a gym, you have to go to Get Some Game and check it out. If you're not into that and you want to get into some wholesome games with your kids, then you need to go check out the Sunday tournaments with the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! The joy on kids' faces when they learn strategy games and the skills that you are giving those formative brains is so amazing. The logic that they have to use, the strategy, the sportsmanship. And not everybody can go out and play soccer or whatever. We don't all have the physical abilities to do that stuff.
Right.
But anyone over time can learn how to play a collaborative game like Settlers of Catan or a strategic game. And just a good old fun game, word games, different things like that. It's so helpful and it's so essential.
And it builds confidence too, because if you're sitting in your house and you're like, I don't know anybody who plays this game that I like, you come into the store and there's other people, there's groups of people that play what you do. It's kind of a real cathartic thing for the person. But also, we have parents that bring their kids in, and they're like, my child plays this game that I've never heard of, like Pokemon, that I've never heard of before. Oh, look, there's other people their age that play this also. So they're not anomalies, So
and then the next week, the parents will show up and start playing the same game as their child. And that's just a beautiful thing to me.
Parents, listen to me. I'm tired of Candyland. there are alternatives.
Yeah.
There are fun games out there, and we can show you what they are.
Mhm.
Go talk to Mary, talk to Chloe. They
Yeah.
will hook you up.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then if,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
if you want games for after the kids go to sleep, they've got those too. So, where you don't have to wait for them to decide, you can just go ahead and play your game. So,
Mhm.
um, but that's just awesome. So thankful. Gets a Game has been around here 14 years. We will hope you have another 114 more. And so excited to have you this year at the Geekery Market, and definitely be checking the site because we'll be talking about the different kinds of activities. But you can come and meet some of the crew from Get Some Game. You can check out some of the games. We'll have some that you can come and test out and play as well.
Yes.
And it's just really, it's not just a store. It's a community, like you said,
Mhm.
Chloe. I think that was perfect, and we want you to be part of that. And the Charlotte Geeks are so proud to be part of it. So many of us.
Well, thank you.
Go over
We're
there in
proud
our
to be
free
part of
time.
your community, and you have
Yeah.
a wonderful event. We went to your con last year and had an absolute blast, like seeing everyone and all the enthusiasm. It was wonderful.
Just wait till this year. So much more.
And Leon, yeah, and my husband Leon always loved being with you guys too, and so he held you at a really high standard of, if the Charlotte Geeks felt that X was good, then it must be good, So we appreciate that, even from his leadership. So thank you.
Well, we loved Leon. We miss him terribly, and we're just so glad that his legacy continues to live on through you, and we appreciate that because we know that wasn't easy to deal with that and having to keep that going. But we're so glad that you did. And
my son Philip is with us too, and then we have some other folks that continue with us, and we couldn't do it without the group of folks that are here. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a village.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're and your village is located at Get Some Games. Go over there and find it. You can connect with them on the Charlotte Geeks website. We'll have a link to their site there, but also just type in Get Some Game and you'll find them. Check out their events. And we will be partnering a little bit more next year now that we're kind of getting past that COVID. I think I've been told that we need to do another speed dating event, and the best way to do it is gaming, because geeks don't know how to talk to each other face to face, but they know how to roll dice. So we got to get some more of that going again.
Absolutely.
And we'll be doing that in the new year. So check that out. Thank you, Mary, for being here. Thank you, Chloe, for joining.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see you at the Geekery Market, and as well
Likewise.
as at the store itself. So, see you guys soon.
Very good. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.